No more food bribes. Breaking the if you eat, you get cycle. As parents, we all want our children to eat nourishing meals, to grow strong, and to develop a healthy relationship with food. But sometimes, in the everyday trenches of mealtime, when plates are pushed away and vegetables are eyed with suspicion, we find ourselves reaching for a quick fix. We might hear ourselves saying, if you eat 3 more bites, you can have dessert, or finish your broccoli, and then you can watch your favorite show. These are the food bribes, and they're incredibly common. You are not alone if this is a familiar scene in your home. This approach often comes from a place of love and worry, a genuine desire to ensure our children are well fed. But what if these well-intentioned tactics are actually backfiring, creating more struggle around food, and impacting our children's developing relationship with their own bodies and appetites? In this video, we're going to dive deep into why the if you eat, you get cycle can create more problems than it solves. We'll explore the hidden costs of food bribes, not just for mealtime peace, but for your child's emotional intelligence and their intrinsic sense of worth. Most importantly, I will share practical, compassionate strategies to replace bribery with healthier mealtime habits that honor your child's natural appetite and build a foundation of trust and connection around food. My hope is to give you clarity and confidence, replacing guilt with powerful tools you can use starting today. If this is resonating with you already, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Wise Parent for more insights on raising emotionally intelligent children, and tell me in the comments how old your child is. It helps us understand where you are on your parenting journey. Let's talk about why food bribes, despite feeling like a quick win in the moment, can actually be detrimental to your child's development. Our core parenting DNA, here at Wise Parent, emphasizes that parents are brain architects, especially in the first 5 years. Every interaction, every routine, every word spoken lays down pathways in your child's developing brain. So, what happens when we consistently use food as a bargaining chip? First, bribes undermine emotional safety. Mealtime, which should be a pleasant and connecting family experience, can quickly become a battleground. When food is tied to rewards or punishment, it becomes a source of pressure and anxiety for your child. They might feel coerced, leading to power struggles. This is the opposite of creating a safe and secure environment. When a child feels pressured, their nervous system activates a stress response. It makes it harder for them to tune into their internal hunger and fullness cues, and it definitely doesn't make them more open to trying new foods. Instead, they learn to associate meals with stress, control, and a lack of autonomy, which can lead to long-term negative associations with eating. Second, using bribes teaches children to eat for external rewards, not for their body's internal signals. Think about it. When you say, eat your peas, and you get ice cream, you're teaching your child that the motivation to eat comes from outside of them. They're not learning to listen to their hunger, to recognize when they're satisfied, or to appreciate the taste and nourishment of different foods. Instead, they're focused on the prize. This disconnect from their own bodily wisdom is a significant issue for their developing emotional intelligence and confidence. We want them to trust their bodies, to understand what feels good and what doesn't, to develop a healthy sense of self-regulation. Bribes short-circuit this crucial learning process. Over time, this can contribute to issues like overeating or undereating because they're relying on external cues rather than internal ones. Third, bribes often reinforce the idea that certain foods are good and others are bad. The bribed food, usually vegetables or something nutritious, becomes the hard or unpleasant task, while the reward food, typically dessert or a screen, becomes the ultimate prize. This can create an unhealthy hierarchy of foods in your child's mind. They might start to dislike the healthy food even more, and crave the unhealthy food because it's associated with pleasure and reward. This isn't just about taste, it's about the emotional value we implicitly assign to different foods, shaping their preferences in ways we don't intend. If this description of the cycle feels all too familiar, and perhaps a bit disheartening, please know that you are not failing. You are simply working with the tools you had, and now you're gaining new insights. Many of us were raised with similar approaches, and we're now breaking those cycles. Take a moment to reflect on your own experiences with food as a child. Did your parents use similar tactics? Share your thoughts in the comments if you feel comfortable. Sometimes just naming these patterns helps us move beyond them. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Wise Parent to keep receiving supportive, non-judgmental guidance like this. So, how do we replace these well-intentioned but ultimately counterproductive bribes with habits that foster genuine connection, emotional intelligence, and a healthy relationship with food. Let's explore some practical alternatives. One of the most powerful frameworks comes from registered dietitian and family therapist Ellyn, called the division of responsibility in feeding. It's wonderfully simple and revolutionary. Here's how it works. As the parent, you are responsible for what times food is offered, asterisk when times it is offered, and times where times it is offered. Your child is responsible for times if times they eat, and times how much times they eat. This division empowers both you and your child. You take the pressure off yourself to make them eat, and you put the child in charge of their own body's signals. It fosters respect for their autonomy and teaches them to listen to their internal cues. Let's break down how to implement this. First, structured meals and snacks. Consistency and predictability are key to creating emotional safety and regulating a child's nervous system. Offer meals and snacks at regular times throughout the day, roughly every 2 to 3 hours. Avoid grazing between these times. Why? Because grazing means they're never truly hungry at mealtime, making them less likely to try new foods or eat a substantial amount. When they know when the next eating opportunity will be, they feel more secure and are better able to regulate their appetite. Sit down together as a family for meals whenever possible. This models healthy eating and makes mealtime a social, connecting experience, not just about fuel. Second, implement a neutral dessert policy. This is a game changer for many families. Instead of making dessert a reward for eating dinner, or a special treat for good behavior, integrate it into the meal in a neutral way. This could mean serving a small portion of dessert alongside the main meal, or serving it immediately after, without fanfare or conditions. The goal is to remove the good versus bad food hierarchy. Dessert is just another food. It's enjoyed in moderation, like everything else. When children know dessert is coming regardless, it removes its power as a bargaining chip and reduces the intense focus on it. They learn that all foods fit into a balanced diet. This approach fosters emotional intelligence around food, helping them see food as nourishment and pleasure, not as a tool for control or reward. Third, use powerful scripts and language that separate eating from reward and punishment. This is where you actively build your child's confidence in their own body. Instead of demanding they eat, offer choices within your framework. For instance, here is our dinner tonight: chicken, rice, and green beans. You can choose what you'd like to eat from what's on your plate. Your body knows how much it needs. You don't have to eat it if you don't want to. But this is what we are having for dinner. We'll have dessert after we finish our meal together. Notice this is a natural progression, not a if you eat X, then you get Y. Avoid saying things like, you have to finish everything on your plate, or no dessert unless you eat your vegetables. These phrases create pressure and turn food into a battle. Instead, focus on trust and respect. It's about connection over control. When you trust your child to listen to their body, you are laying down critical brain architecture that supports self-regulation and healthy choices throughout their life. Remember, it takes many exposures for children to accept new foods. Be patient. Continue to offer a variety of foods. Even if your child initially rejects them, it can take 10, 15, even 20 exposures before a child tries or accepts a new food. Respect their pace and their preferences. Keep offering a small no thank you portion of a new food, without pressure. Your consistent, calm approach at mealtimes builds emotional safety and resilience around food. You are teaching them that their body is their own, and that their feelings and choices are respected. It might feel counterintuitive at first to let go of the control, especially when you're worried about their nutrition. But trust me, and trust your child. When you provide healthy, varied options consistently, and respect their autonomy, children naturally gravitate towards a balanced intake over time. This approach reduces stress for everyone at the table, transforming mealtimes from a source of conflict into moments of connection and shared experience. You'll be fostering not just healthy eating habits, but also self-confidence, bodily autonomy, and a deeper emotional connection with your child. This journey might have its ups and downs, but the long-term benefits for your child's well-being are immeasurable. If you're feeling inspired and hopeful about making these changes, that's wonderful. This is about more than just food. It's about nurturing your child's emotional growth and building their inner strength. This new way of approaching food helps your child become more confident, more secure, and more attuned to their own needs, which are foundational for all aspects of their life. I encourage you to pick one strategy from today's video, perhaps starting with structured meal times, or adopting a neutral dessert policy, and try it consistently for a week. Observe the subtle shifts in your child's behavior and your own feelings around mealtime. I promise, replacing bribery with connection will bring more peace and joy to your family. Please like this video if it helped you. Subscribe to Wise Parent for more guidance, and share in the comments which strategy you're going to try first. And if you're curious about how to manage screen time effectively without resorting to bribes, be sure to check out our next video on conscious screen usage for emotionally intelligent children. You are doing a wonderful job, and I'm here to support you on this journey.